दोस्तों स्टूडियो में आप सबका स्वागत। मैं आपका अपना वरुण तिवारी। आज मेरे साथ हैं उर्मी जी एंड मेलिसा जी स्टूडियो के बीच में। स्टूडियो में आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत। सबसे पहले तो हम ये बता दें कि कम्युनिटी में बहुत सारी सेवा कर रहे हैं, कम्युनिटी में बहुत सारा अपना नाम बना रहे हैं। थोड़ा सा उसके बारे में उर्मी जी सबसे पहले बताइए।
Melissa Monteiro is the CEO of CMRC. Based in Western Sydney, Melissa Monteiro oversees medium-sized not-for-profit organizations that provide range of services including domestic violence, domestic payments, youth services, businesses across the New South Wales. Additionally, Melissa also serves as the executive board members in several local and national advisor committee towards the community services. Please welcome Melissa Monteiro.
Welcome to the studio.
Thank you.
First of all, we want to know about yourself and your family.
Firstly, thank you very much for having me today. I'm really delighted that I can be here and share with you my story and also the work of the Community Migrant Resource Centre with all your viewers and all your followers and all your members. A little bit about me is I have been in Australia firstly for over close to 25 years now, and I am married for 27 years. Recently celebrated my 2 years ago 25th wedding anniversary. I have 2 children. I have a boy and a girl, and my son is working now. He has finished his uni, and my daughter is in her 3rd year university. And I live here very close in Kenthurst, and we've been here for a long time. And we enjoy the work that we do, and as a family we support each other. We support each other's roles, and my husband has been my biggest supporter over these years.
Wow, that's quite a journey. So, how long have you been working with migrants and what actually inspired you to start?
Yes, so my journey actually started, I would say, as a very young girl. And that's the reason why I wrote my book, which is called The Girl from Mumbai.
The Girl from Mumbai. Wow. So you went to India to write it up, or you write it here?
No.
You are from India.
I am from Mumbai, from India, and I write about my 30 years in community services because I started off as a very young child. My father used to work with an NGO, and he used to deliver food. He was a program officer, program manager that used to give food, an American company that used to give food, oil, wheat, bulgur, sugar to very poor tribals in Himachal and in the UP, tribal communities in rural and regional areas in India. And I used to be volunteering at Mother Teresa's Missionaries of Charity in Mumbai, close to where I used to live. There used to be a lot of poverty and poor people on our streets there. And after school, I used to go and help at Mother Teresa's Missionaries of Charity to feed those 300-400 inmates that used to be there. They had nobody. But as a young child, that was my turning point. And I think for everybody in life, in anything that you do, it's good to have that moment where you recognize is your turning point. And after that, you work on your skills, and then you get trained and you do, which is what I did. I got trained as a social worker. I studied, I did my bachelor's in social work. I did my master's in social work in Mumbai. I worked at the College of Social Work for about 5 years, again in Mumbai. After that, I got married, and then I came to Australia when my son was a very small baby. So that has been my journey. But over the years, I've had 30 years of community work and experience, and I've always been employed by a not-for-profit and NGOs. And for me, that is my mission and my calling. That is my personal mission, is to help others and to develop and grow women, families, young people, and I have dedicated my life to serving others.
That's really beautiful.
Yes. So talk us about how your contribution actually helped CMRC to grow.
Yes, so I came, like I've said, with a lot of experience because I had used to be working for very many years in the not-for-profit sector, and I understood NGOs and how they work and the challenges for not-for-profit organizations. And when I came to Australia, I found that the NGO sector was very same and similar to what we have in India, but it's very regulated. In Australia, everything is managed and regulated, and there are clear-cut systems in place. Now, I was working in Blacktown when I started off at the Blacktown City Community Services Network, after which I got employed by this organization which was working with migrant communities and refugee communities. And it was a very small organization 25 years ago. When I joined, there were 4 other managers that came before me, and the organization, including me, was 7 people. And we had a very small budget of, in those days we used to be funded by the Department of Home Affairs, DEMA, Department of Immigration, but a very, very small budget, inside 400,000. And I, along with my team, we grew together the organization of what CMRC today is a million, many millions, a few $1 million, but we grew it together. And growth was not important in the beginning. It was responding to the needs of the communities, of our diverse communities. In Parramatta is where our office is. Those days we had we were very multicultural, and the CMRC was founded on needs of communities in the local Western Sydney area. Our first name was the Hills Holroyd Parramatta Migrant Resource Centre. Of course, that name changed to Community Migrant Resource Centre, and today we are serving more than 27,000 clients every year. Those days it used to be much smaller. So the services that we provide have grown by responding to community needs. Today we are providing settlement services, youth services, children's services, family services, reaching out to mums. We have about 10 or 11 playgroups in Marylands, in Guildford, in different Para East, Parramatta North, in all the schools in Parramatta. So we are supporting people on the ground, families on the ground, young people in Western Sydney, including Auburn, Blacktown and Parramatta.
That's really beautiful. You're also joining the hand with everyone, and especially if I'm talking about the domestic violence, I'm talking about the child protection. Means, can you tell us what your organization, also you're doing in 7, 8, 9 sectors, I feel like that. Can you tell us about that areas as well?
Okay. So the very sad statistics in Australia that we have, which is not something that we should be very proud about, but the sad thing is that one woman loses her life in Australia every week. So which means over 52 women in Australia are losing their lives and are dying every year.
Only women?
Women that are killed every year, and they lose their lives because of a current partner or a former partner, and those are statistics that are growing every year now. So over 52% it is at this point in time, which is not something that anybody should be proud of. So we as not-for-profits, NGOs are responding because there is so much of need in the community. And the more we work with women and families, the more we are seeing that there are relationship breakdowns. And people are trying to settle in a new country, but it's coming at a cost. In that settlement, the relationship between the husband and the wife or the family members, sometimes extended family, are having an impact on the woman. And as a result, there is a breakdown in the family. Now, I'm not saying that it has anything to do with Indian diaspora or, it is nothing related directly to Indian women only. It is happening across all cultures in Australia. But we as the CMRC are responding more to the Indian women only because they are reaching out more to us. Indian subcontinent, India, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Pakistan, all these subcontinent are reaching out to this Community Migrant Resource Center, and we are supporting and offering our support and help to women. Firstly, we are trying to build strong relationships between women and husbands, family relationships, women and children, very important. Secondly, we are telling people where they can go to seek help. When a woman doesn't know where to go, that's the biggest problem. There are a lot of agencies in Blacktown, in Parramatta, Cumberland, where women can seek help. So the CMRC, which is a Community Migrant Resource Center, have workers. There are settlement workers. There are workers that are providing the support 5 days a week, Monday to Friday, at the Community Migrant Resource Center. And I might even give you our telephone number, Urmi, which is 96879901. People can reach out to us and we can provide that support and help. We do understand why women are reaching out to us, and help is on the way.
That's great to hear, Melissa. So please share some experiences that, migrants or people from the community might have reached to you or CMRC regarding seeking for help, facing some challenges. So what could be those challenges and how CMRC actually guide them or assist them to overcome those challenges?
So I'm very happy to say that the CMRC employ full-time employment or part-time employment or casually. We have close to 200 staff and contractors that are bilingual. We have over 46 languages that are spoken here in Western Sydney. So we are responding to all categories, all age groups, all languages and all cultures. We provide assistance. The biggest support that we can provide to newly arrived is to migrants when they come to this country is in the area of employment. We find that finding a job in Australia is very, very hard for majority of the people that come to this country. The initial years, the settlement years are very hard to live in a new country. How do you find a job when you don't speak the language properly? How do you communicate? How do you get ready for an interview? In Australia, the interview process is different compared to what we do overseas. In Australia, your resume cannot be 10 pages. Your resume has to be 2 pages. In Australia, we have a thorough interview process. There are selection criteria. There are very small things that we are training people and helping them to get jobs. And we successfully get hundreds, close to 1,000 every year of successful employment. We are federal and state funded by various departments, and we successfully place people in jobs. So that is one of our biggest strengths, and that is what we can offer. All communities, doesn't matter. We focus on women, on young children, young people, and getting them job ready, because when they pass out from, when they finish their school, they need again to get trained. They need to find out which unis to go to. Many of people sometimes think of having a gap year, and then we guide people during those years and tell them, we don't tell, we guide, and we show people the way. So employment is the most important for us. After this is housing. When you came to Australia, housing was one of the biggest issues you would have found as well. So housing, finding a house in Australia is very hard. It's very expensive. Living in Western Sydney, buying a house in Western Sydney is very hard. Finding a rented house in Australia is very hard. You have to get references. And so that's again the point where we help people to get into the private rental market. We have relationships with the Department of Housing. And again, we help thousands of people every year filling those forms, connecting them with real estate, because people don't understand, again, finding a house and living in those houses also require help and assistance. Sometimes to find that house you need that reference letter. Sometimes the families are bigger with maybe 6 children, and then you have to find a house and accommodation with so many rooms, etc. So housing after employment is the most important.
That's really beautiful because of the problems and the solutions are there, and you are helping properly, as you told. You are not telling, you're just helping them in your way, and you're just trying to be important things, their education, their needs, their home needs, and their special need of the job.
Yes, all the basic information we provide. We're a very well structured organization. We have a very good professional board with skills, and people on my board have been in private companies, large companies, with many years of experience and skills and qualifications to be on a board. And so we have a thorough board, and I have a wonderful management team, an executive team of 9 managers that are looking after many of these programs that we run, which is the housing, the employment, the education, playgroups and mothers groups. We run 11 playgroups in Western Sydney, and each one of these groups have got over 75 families that are attending, women in Parramatta East, West, North, in the schools in Western Sydney. And we are finding we are helping young children in those preschool years. You know, we're getting them school ready, and that is the difference we're making, right from not, zero to taking them through their school years.
So, any story which when you can share with us, it gives you the feel, the proud moment. You are working in this for a long time, 30 years, as you told us. So, which you feel like that, yes, I done something. Any story you want to share with us? Sometime you help someone, and this has come to the proper solution.
I can boast of not one, but collectively I can't take all the credit, because these are committed staff that we employ that are seeing every day. There are maybe 5 successes that we have. A young person going and getting a driver's license is because we have supported them. We have free driving classes, and every week we have people that are passing through, and they come and they show us their driver's license, and they say thank you to CMRC for the driving assistance, because we pay for their driver's license, to get their driving school. We pay for that, and so we help people when they cannot afford it. Then we provide that assistance. For us, that is one big win. Every week we have people who we have placed in employment and find a job, and women come to us and say thank you for helping me to get a job in Western Sydney. Sometimes they have to travel maybe, but that's alright. But again, we help people. To give you names will be hard, because every week there are ina minor more, like it's very hard to say what names, and because of privacy we can't give you names, but there are countless names of individuals and families that we are helping with employment, with housing, with driver's license, with education, with support. Like I said, when women are in difficult situations, if they are in a domestic violence situation, they come to us. We work with them. Our first point is to help them, if it's possible, to go back to stay in the family. Families are the most important unit. We want to build and support and grow families. We don't want to break families. We want to nourish the family, and we teach the women how to actually be strong in the family. But sometimes it is bigger than the problem, bigger than that, and that's when we help that woman to manage her life situation.
You are making a difference in the community, Melissa, and at CMRC, you probably have seen a lot of success stories. Can you share some strategies or any initiative that you probably have include in your strategy that actually gave you that success and you think that you will implement again in future?
We do have a strategic plan for the organization because we know where we've come from and where we want to go. And it's very important, and we say that to all of the businesses that we support. Multicultural business support, we provide over 1,000 businesses, multicultural businesses with support in New South Wales. And one of the important things for any business is what we tell them to have a business plan. As an organization, we have a strategic plan. And a strategy is important to be discussed, not by the head, by the person running the organization, by myself, but with the board and the staff and the management team. It's important to have a strategy. Firstly, it's not about you. It's about us together, because we're working on something. We're changing lives, and no one person can change life. Just remember that. No one person can change lives. You can do it in collaboration with people together. And so a starting point is to have a strategic plan, which gives you your strategy. As the CMRC, the strategies that we have adopted is to work at the grassroots and to understand people and where they come from, to understand what their needs are, rather than we tell them what we think their needs are. It should never be like that. It is always a consultative approach. When you consult with people, you go as equals. I'm consulting you, I'm not teaching you and I'm not telling you, I'm consulting and I'm asking you, what can I do for you? What are your issues? If everybody followed that same approach,
Yeah.
I think it is much more easier when you don't tell people, but we say, together let's find a solution to your problem.
Yeah, you will come giving the comfortable zone to them, so it will be more friendly with you. And before going, I must say your name is also like a Masi. You know what is Masi is?
Yes.
Ma Jessie. So you are helping the community like a Masi.
Yes. Yes, and that is what we try.
Yeah. Before going, we want to say, ask anything you want to tell to the community. You want to tell to everyone how to live the life.
Yes. One of the things that I firmly believe is that we all have so much of potential, and it's important to tap that potential that is within you. We are so rich in ourselves, and we are blessed with many talents and skills. And when we realize we need to dig deep into ourselves to understand what skills, knowledge, talent and skills that we have, once we realize it, then it's important to share it with others. Don't be on this journey by yourself. Share it with others, because together we can build, and together we can change, and together we can grow. And the second thing is hope. In my book, I talk a lot about hope, because hope is very important. When you get up in the morning, you need to have hope. Many of the people have so many problems that they think that no one can solve their problems, and that's not true. Because there are individuals and communities and organizations that can help. Whatever the problem is, that always believe in hope, because hope can change not one life, it can change hundreds of lives.
It's very inspiring, as Melissa says. Thank you so much, Melissa, for joining us here today. International Women's Day is coming, so we'd like to celebrate that with all the women around the world. Anything finally you would like to say about women around the world for International Women's Day?
Yes, the theme for International Women's Day is Count Her In. Don't leave women out. In all of the work that we do, to recognize, number one, the gender equality. Equity and equality are different words, and it's very important for everybody collectively, not just in Australia but around the world, to recognize the strength, the potential of women, and to count women in everything we do, at all levels of government, at all levels in the community, in your very own family. Recognize your own mum, your mother, the strength of your mother. Recognize the strength of your wife. Children, recognize the strength of your own parents, your mother. where she has come from and recognize that she is a contributing member, and she is contributing to the global economy, she's contributing to the Australian economy. For those in Australia, women are also important and they are contributing to our economies. And we need to recognize that. Don't take that woman for granted. Let us recognize her this International Women's Day and count her in.
Friends, thank you very much. Be with us, and today we want to thank you for serving the community for the last 30 years. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me, Urmi and Varun. Thank you so much. And all the best and good luck to your new initiative and what you're doing with the TV as well and these programs. All the best to you, and thank you once again.
Thank you.